All right. Hello, everybody. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be successful in everything you do. So, today we will have a very simple meeting, nothing complicated, no deep Dhamma unless you ask a question related to deep Dhamma. Today, I would rather like to take this meeting in a more welcoming, introducing way. It's the first time that we are streaming from this platform of Restream. We are probably also facing some technical difficulties, or we will. So I would like to take it a little bit easier today. And let's just do 10 minutes meditation. And then if you have any questions, I will answer them. So we can sit in a comfortable meditation posture. The meditation practice that I explain, that I like to practice myself, has some different, some special characteristics. They're special because other teachers don't teach them, but they would not be so much special during the Buddha's time. So one of the special things is that we do not close eyes during meditation. Why we don't close eyes? Well, because if you close eyes, you will fall asleep. But more importantly, if you close eyes, you may see things that are not related to your meditation practice, which would not be a problem if you did not care, but unfortunately, most people care. As soon as they see a Buddha or a dragon or a god, suddenly they believe that they are contacted. And that contact, of course, is very important for them because it's the contact with them. How often does a dragon or a Buddha or a god contact you? Probably not every day. So if that happens to you in meditation, well, then all of your meditation instructions, all of the teacher, all of your knowledge, all that is gone. You see? And that's a problem. And you know what's even more problem is that the dragon or God or the Buddha that you see in your meditation are made by you alone. But who will ever convince you about that? You will not believe anyone. Hey, that's the number one time. That's the first time that you finally could talk to a dragon or a God or the Buddha. So how come that you would have done that? Surely not. Okay. So that's the point. That's the problem, and that's the point. So we do not close our eyes so that we don't become deluded. Let's keep our eyes nicely open, but a little bit, What's a little bit? You know it. You know what's a little bit. Is it a half, or a third, or fourth, or fifth, or just a very tiny little bit? You know it. Must be comfortable for you. Each person has different needs. So we may discuss meditation posture another time. This moment, I do not have the proper environment to explain it, but that would be just for the legs. The remaining is relatively easier. So we keep our back erect during meditation. You don't want to become a hunchback because meditating, okay? So we keep our back nicely erect. If you feel that your back is erect but nobody agrees with you, well, then what you can do is you can concentrate on the tips of the shoulders here and get those tips of the shoulders a little back. All right, that helps a lot, especially if you are, uh, how to say that? If you're a little chubby, or if you're not used to sit with erect back, then moving the shoulders a little bit back is like a miracle. So amazing. Suddenly the posture is erect. But of course, the lower back also needs to be erect. It's not just about the upper back. And we can make, as we see the floor in front of us, we don't look to the left, right, or in front. We see the floor down there. And we can make the first determination, the first decision in our minds voicelessly. From now on, for 10 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. From now on, for 10 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. From now on, for 10 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. And with that determination, we can gently, lovingly notice the flat piece of flesh at the top of the head. It's actually a sinew. We allow it to be heavy and changing. We continue in this manner to the forehead, eyes, nose, lips, chin, cheeks, ears, back of the head, we allow all of the muscles and sinews throughout the head to be heavy. That's the element of hardness, heaviness, and changing. That's the characteristic of impermanence. We continue to the neck, shoulders, arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, fingers, tips of fingers, chest, abdomen, back, we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the upper part of the body to be heavy and changing. We continue to the buttocks, thighs, knees, calves, heels, soles, toes, tips of toes. We allow all of the muscles and sinews throughout the body to be heavy and changing. And as we allow the body to be the way it is, we ourselves experience freedom from worry about the body. Let's enjoy this freedom. Let's watch this peace. If we got established in our peace, regardless of what kind of peace we have, even the smallest piece can be shared. And we start in our room. We allow, we permit, may all beings in this room be in peace. And we can gradually expand our thoughts of loving kindness. May all beings in this building be in peace. beings in this city or village be in peace. May all beings in this country be in peace. May all beings on this continent be in peace. May all beings on this planet be in peace. May all beings, including me, be in peace. Now, because the time for this sitting is finished, let's make the last determination in our minds voicelessly. From now on, I will always be calm. From now on, I will always be calm. From now on, I will always be calm. And with that determination, we can slowly, mindfully change the way of our sitting. When we have changed the way of our sitting, we can take one more minute to watch the mind and see what does the mind do. Very well. So, if there are any questions, anything you would like to know, now is the best time to ask. Starting from next week, we will restart our reading of the book from Pa'ao Doi Siar. The workings of Dhamma. We already did 2 lectures on the workings of Dhamma, but we have decided that we'll do it again with a higher quality, and so that it is rather unified with the other lectures that we do in this channel and with this technology. So the book might be available for free. Yes. So you may like to download it, you may like to read it. We'll be going through basically my notes from that book. So we'll be discussing what the Sayadaw said there, and sometimes if I disagree or if I have something more to tell about it, well, then I will share it with you. So that's the plan. If you have any other idea or any other suggestion or whatever you would like to add or ask, is the best time. Okay, so I'm having here a question. Why do we meditate? What is the purpose of meditation? Meditation actually reflects what you want. So, for anything that you desire, especially if it is skillful, wholesome, helpful, wise, there will be a meditation practice that will support you in that. So, rather than trying to find a reason why do you meditate, I would like to find a reason why would you need meditation. And that always depends on you. Would you like to be successful in your business, or would you like to see that you're loved, that you're appreciated, or would you like to gain more peace? Or would you like to get power over your mind? Or would you like to be mindful? Or would you like to be less forgetful? Or would you like to remember your past lives? Or would you like to have psychic powers such as telepathy, knowing what other people think about, and many, many other psychic powers? Or would you like to understand how reality works? What is impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, not self? Or would you just like to enjoy some joy from having peace? Depends on you. What do you want? And based on that, there will be some kind of meditation instruction that will help you achieve what you want. So the Buddha, however, taught meditation with one single purpose, and that is to achieve liberation from all birth, old age, illness, and death. With this purpose, if you meditate, you are going to achieve basically all of the other benefits as well. So it is commonly suggested that whenever we do a good action, that is generosity, following rules, and meditation, we have only one wish, and that is to get liberated from all birth, old age, illness, and death. Because with that wish, not only that we may get more support in the future on that path, thanks to the meditation practice, but we also will enjoy that happiness and wealth and fame and success and money and possessions and so on and on and on. So it's very much independence on us what we want, but ideally the purpose of meditation is to achieve liberation from all greed, hatred, ignorance, or from another point of view, we'd say liberation from all birth, old age, illness, and death. What's the problem with birth, old age, illness, and death? Well, the problem with them is that they're not desirable. Birth is not desirable? Well, birth is desirable for the mom and for the dad, and sometimes for the society as well. But it's not so desirable for the person who's going to be born. Imagine that somebody would now imprison you in a tiny, tiny little room where you have almost no space to move. And in that room, you would get food, that's true, but whatever you pee, that would actually come into that room. It doesn't go outside. And also, You cannot see anything, you cannot hear anything. You can hear a little bit from what's happening outside because the wall is not so strong, but you do not really see or hear anything. You're totally alone there. Totally alone. And suppose that you are there for about 8 months. How would you like that? How would you like that? I can't imagine anybody who would like that. After those 8 months, a little hole in that room will appear. Hole as big as a keyhole, not a big one. And now from the other side of that room, the wall will start to push you out. There is no way out. Either you will be mashed like a mashed potato, or you will somehow get out of that through that little keyhole. In our scriptures is explained that being born is like when an elephant is going through a keyhole. So I like to say the door follows. In other words, if an elephant tries to go through keyhole, the door will also go. And probably some of the wall as well. So when kids get born, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. So that's birth. All right, that's birth. And right after that birth, right after the child is born, the child has no more support from the mom. Suddenly it's out in this world. Previously, the problem was that it was confined to this tiny little space. Now it's a problem that there is so much space and so much danger everywhere. So it's quite scary. Being born is very scary. It's not comfortable, not at all. Okay, so that's birth. Old age, illness, and death, I think that's pretty clear. They're not desirable. So the Buddha concentrated on the undesirability of birth, old age, illness, and death. And the Buddha showed us the path how to get free from them. And that path involves three things, and that is ethics, concentration practice, and insight practice. Sila, Samadhi, Vipassana. You maybe have heard Sila, Samadhi, Panya, but this Panya wisdom is explained in our scriptures as Vipassana. So we will hear Burmese masters in Myanmar actually saying Sila, Samadhi, Vipassana rather than saying Sila, Samadhi, Panya. And so we have to practice these three things. And as you can see, Samatha, Vipassana, two meditation practices explained in our scriptures, are two of the three parts, 66% of that practice. So it's very important for us. Sila, Samadhi, Vipassana also are the 8 factors of the Eightfold Noble Path. So Sila is the right speech, right action, right livelihood. Samadhi, the right concentration, is the right effort, right concentration. And then wisdom is right mindfulness, right view, and right intention, or it's usually translated as right thought. You could theoretically say that Samma, Vayama, Samma, Sati, Samma, Samadhi, all of the three are actually Samadhi, but they are not Samatha. Samma, Sati is very clearly explained by the Buddha that they are the 4 Satipatthanas, and Satipatthanas are Vipassana. And Vipassana is panya, wisdom. So, samma sati, samma ditti, samma sankappa, in other words, right mindfulness, right view, and right intention, or right thought, if you want to call it that way. They are actually integral parts of wisdom, and they are also integral parts of vipassana practice. Because in samma sati, you have the four satipatthanas, that's right. That's observing the body, feelings, mind, and the phenomena. But also, samma ditti is of two kinds, and one of them is samma ditti, namely right view, of observing the Four Noble Truths. And Four Noble Truths is a vipassana practice provided by the Buddha in Satipatthana Sutta, in most versions in Digha Nikaya, but the Burmese version of Satipatthana Sutta of Tipitaka actually has reflection on Four Noble Truths in both Digha Nikaya and Majjhima Nikaya. They are identical. Digha Nikaya Satipatthana Sutta and Majjhima Nikaya Satipatthana Sutta are identical in the Burmese version of Tipitaka. Because why not? And so I would like to suggest that Samma Sati, Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa are actually very important integral parts of Panya or Vipassana. Then, um, when we meditate, we are supposed to have these three things. We are supposed to develop these three things. You cannot really develop concentration and insight without ethics. You cannot really develop ethics without concentration and insight. You could ask, and what about Dhamma? What about generosity? Well, would you believe that without generosity there is no enlightenment at all? Yes, it's a secret. It's a secret. Or it's not a secret, but people don't talk about it. It's a little bit hard, sometimes to admit that humbling yourself and giving something to someone else, that means caring about another's needs, is important. Because why should I care about others' needs? Nobody cares about my needs, so I shouldn't care about others' needs. And what about to do it the other way? I will care about everyone's needs, and whoever cares about my needs, that's not my problem. Because you cannot really change others, you cannot really force others. And if you force them, you will pay for that. Yes, you will. So we don't force others. And so we care about others' needs. All right? We are generous. And how did I find out that generosity is an unavoidable, ever, always? Generosity is an unavoidable complement, facet of the path towards liberation. How did I find it out? How do I know that? Well, because the Burmese monks say it. Why do the Burmese monks say it? Well, the Burmese monks explain it. So it is believed that you actually cannot become enlightened at all. That means not even a little bit. If you did not do a very powerful, generous act in one of your past lives. It's a little hard to believe that. Usually today people say, everybody can become enlightened, no problem, just sit and meditate. Well, you don't know your past lives, or I suspect that. And because we don't know our past lives, and we don't know whether we gave donation, we gave food or clothes or place to stay or medicine to a Buddha or to a so-called silent Buddha, we can talk about that later. If we did not do that, we are actually not eligible for enlightenment. Yes. And what's the proof? Well, there is no real proof. You know, the scriptures do not specifically say that, but they imply it. So we will see in the stories of arahants that in their past lives they actually did give something, or at least do something for someone, namely for the Buddha or a silent Buddha in one of their past lives. You will not really find a case of an arahant who would say, I never did any good deed in my past lives, and just this life is the first time I ever started to do something and I became an arahant. No, you will never find that in our scriptures. Or try to find it and send me the quote. I will then send you another quote showing you that you're wrong. Yeah, I'm so sure about it. But I'm not really sure about it. It's just that the Burmese monks are so sure about it. So whenever we find a story about an arahant that the monk became an arahant, we will in many cases find some additional commentary or some additional detail that the monk actually gave something to a Buddha or a silent Buddha in a past life. So you could ask, so how do I know it? Well, you don't know it. That's the point. Because you don't know it, you do your best. So, what if you did not give anything in your past lives? Does that mean that you're doomed and you should not meditate? No. It means that you should be generous this life. So, we don't know whether we were generous in our past lives, so that means we're generous this life. It's that simple. And we need to be generous and ethical and meditating as much as possible. If you could do these three things throughout the day, in addition to a little bit of eating and a little bit of sleeping, then that's the right way to do it. Monks are instructed to eat little and sleep little. If you are mindful, you actually don't need to sleep so much. So, any research related to sleep fails here because it's a research about people who don't meditate. It would be an amazing thing to do a research on sleep among people who meditate regularly and intensively. That would be great. But I'm not aware of any such research yet. Maybe I myself will have to do it sometime. We shall see. So, you do not have to sleep, you don't have to eat much if you meditate. If you engage yourself in generosity, morality, meditation, you don't have to sleep so much. Now, the point is, so what about if you just meditate? How can you be generous? Well, you can be generous. Monks are instructed to be generous. When monks receive amazing food or robes, that's the clothes, place to stay, or medicine, the monks give them to a senior monk or to other monks, and themselves enjoy the lower quality, the old robes, place to stay, medicine, and food. So it is possible to be generous. It is, and you do not need to cut out your eyes or ears for that. So, generosity is very important. In fact, in our scriptures, we have a separate meditation technique that's related to generosity. And you will have to be generous for that at least one time in the day. And then you sit down in meditation and you contemplate. Today, I was generous. Generosity always means giving in Buddhism. Be careful. Here we have a problem with vocabulary and English. But in Buddhism, we always use the word generosity for one single meaning, and that is giving. All right? If you speak with an English person, they will understand generosity as kindness, but that's not what I mean. Not at all. Never. I call kindness kindness. And generosity means giving. So we dedicate ourselves to giving, to generosity, and through generosity, our mind is happier. For that, there is research. That's already finished. And this mind that's then happier in meditation is easier to calm down. And when the mind can calm down, it can observe what's going on, either the object you're observing, let's say the breath or loving kindness and so on, or it can observe the arising, passing nature of the body and the mind. So the calm down mind is extremely important for us. To achieve that, we are generous, we are kind. Both of them are very necessary. All right. So as soon as our relationships are nice, as soon as we are sure that what we do is right, well, then of course, our meditation is successful. If you think that you are evil, that you're bad, that you have done something wrong, well, then unfortunately you'll be stuck. You'll be stuck in one of the five hindrances, and that is restlessness. Restlessness is most importantly related to your own self criticism. So, if you want to be successful in meditation, you will need to be ethical so that you do not get restlessness or self criticism. And also, if you're generous, well, then moreover, you are satisfied. You feel what I'm doing is right. And if it is right outside meditation, now it surely can be right also inside meditation. So, generosity and morality are important. And then it depends on you. What do you want from your meditation? So, the purpose of meditation is the one that you give it. Just like the purpose of life. What's your purpose of life? Is your purpose of life to enjoy sensual pleasures? Or to have a lot of ladies? Or to have a beautiful car? Or is the purpose of your life to have a big family? Or to have grandchildren? Or is the purpose of your life to just make people happy? Or to get more knowledge? Or is the purpose of your life to revenge? Or to show people that you are better? Or to make sure that you are the richest and all the others are poorer than you? What's the purpose? You need to know. If you don't know, then your life unfortunately is purposeless. That doesn't mean that you need to take it away, because maybe you will find out purpose tomorrow. And all of us, if we have purpose, we will have health, happiness, energy. And if the purpose is wholesome, then we may even be kind and helpful people. So it's such as that as you search your purpose, you search a purpose that's wholesome so that you don't harm others. You know, if you harm others, others will also want to harm you, and that's not very safe. So we want to keep others safe so that they want to keep us safe, and therefore that's safe. It's a better strategy. Okay, so that's the purpose of meditation. What's your purpose of life? That purpose of your life can also be used as a purpose of your meditation. If your purpose of your life is to achieve full freedom from greed, hatred, ignorance, well, then purpose of meditation can be the same. If the purpose of life is to make others happy, well, then the purpose of meditation can be the same. If the purpose of your life is to enjoy sensual pleasures, well, then you will probably have to follow some different meditation, because Theravada Buddhism doesn't provide meditation that supports sensual desires. In meditation, you're supposed to actually put away all your sensual desires. You could meditate so that you get sensual desires like in heaven, or that you are rich in this life and so on. Yeah, you can do that. But during meditation, you can't. Okay? So that's a little problem. All right. So I'm not sure if I've answered the question. So if you have any more questions, any note regarding this point, I'd be happy to listen and continue. All right. So I think that was more than enough for today. It's a welcoming session. We're just starting out. Next week, we want to read from the book um, The Workings of Kamma by Pa Auk Siado. Pa Auk Siado is a Burmese master. He's a Burmese meditation master. He has many, many thousands of students. Very famous, very powerful. He has many monasteries all around the world, and many of you probably have heard of him already. Pa'ao Sayadaw is most famous for his very detailed and structured practice of observing breath. Many people who study under Pa'ao Sayadaw actually practice meditation on breath. I don't know anyone who would be his student and would not have meditated on breath. I don't. So Pao Sayadaw teaches meditation on breath. He does teach a lot of other things, but it seems that the breath is the basis for everything in his method. And we will be talking about Pao Sayadaw's understanding of the world. He's providing a lot of very important and powerful and hidden and buried, that's the word I like more, buried references in our scriptures that explain the nature of our actions and their consequences. And he explains it in a very minute detail. So the book is quite big. We'll be reading tiny little bit by little bit, and we'll see how far we can get. The book is available in various languages. We'll be following the English version, and we will probably be following the second edition from 2018. So you may like to search it, The Workings of Kamma, online, download it, maybe read the first chapter. We'll be reading the basics of Kamma until the point where the Sayadaw explains the destruction of the world. So the destruction of the world means the physical destruction of the world, the physical destruction of the physical world. So until then, we'll be discussing rather basically what's the problem of Kamma and what's the root of Kamma. It will be introduction to that book, but it's part of the book. Sometimes the Sayadaw says things with which I disagree. Well, I believe that's my right to disagree with another person. Very often, however, we can see that while the Sayadaw provides amazing references, which are very accurate and very reliable, sometimes the Sayadaw provides his own opinion or something he has heard somewhere, but there's no reference at all. And we will be looking at those things and we will be considering whether those points are important or whether ourselves, we have some other knowledge or other point of view that can add to better understanding of how the things are. So it was a pleasure to see everybody. I hope to see you again next week. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be successful in everything you do.